Hey yo, what is fucking poppin'? You already know what time it is. We about to dive into this new weekly recap. This might end up becoming a new thing I do. I'm already doing it, so might as well just fucking start doing weekly recaps. But anyway, I don't feel too good today. Um, I got a bad migraine. Had it since yesterday. Hasn't fucking kicked the bucket yet. So, if I sound all kinds of fucked up, that's why. You guys already know, most of you, I don't do edits. I'm not a pussy bitch. I'm not here to fucking make my shit sound perfect just for, the sake of views and clicks. I'm here to get the fucking point across on what I think. And, yeah. So, let's go ahead and dive into this, I guess. Um, so as far as like the update that they put out, they basically like they're basically just doing a little hotfix and pushing out a buff to like 4 weapons, maybe five weapons as far as mods. Yeah, it's there's a few of them that are like plus 300%, plus 200%, plus 160%, but nobody's gonna use them anyway. Let's be honest. You know, they also go into talking about the meta, and it's funny. Like, you're not going to get these people to stop using the meta at all. Doesn't matter. Like, people are not going to stop using the meta. It's already become a crutch after this point. Most people probably don't even know how to play the game other than fucking using the meta. You tell them to use actual skills at this point, and they'll look at you like you just spoke Japanese. So that's gonna be a major thing. But they mentioned like for the three pillars of our meta, which is like AOE damage. Um, what was the other fucking thing? Oh yeah, moaning winds. Moaning winds is one of them. Because everybody likes to sit there and have it sitting on the side, so that way that you just swap to your gun and it fucking reloads, and then you swap real quick back so it doesn't fully reload, just so you can just use it as a quick proc. Um, yeah, that right there is apparently a meta, which is fucking stupid. Um, and then they also mentioned Fortress, which Fortress is definitely a huge part of certain meta. What I'm surprised they didn't mention is Dark Sacrifice, because Dark Sacrifice is actually one of the best gun mods that you could put on anything, especially a Technomancer, especially a Frost Technomancer, I should say, that has two turrets running. You literally almost cannot die, even when you're slowly taking that tick of damage. But we won't get into that. Um, but that's arguably the only stuff that they even remotely added to this hotfix. Um, there's nothing really there to it. Um, excuse me. Anyway, um, yeah, there's nothing much really there. I mean, they're literally doing exactly what we want them to do. They're upgrading, and they're fixing the metas. They're making more diversified options. Now, that's something we want. We want there to be diversified options. If we only wanted blight round builds, then Technomancer should have just came out with a top tree and that's it. There shouldn't be any skill points to allocate, nothing. There shouldn't be any other skills. It should just be a base linear ass game where the Technomancer just has these key core components, and that's it. Same with Pyro, same with all the other classes. Right? If we didn't want build diversity, then that's all that should have came out with the game. It should have just been like a regular RPG. You know, you level up and boom, here's your shit. It's all linear. And then you go and you play it like you would if you were playing fucking Division 2 or Division 1. You know, you choose whichever skills you want to use, and there you go. Like, you have your little fucking bootleg skills sitting on the side. I mean, that's the way it seems like most people want this game. Because, you know, you mentioned build diversity and the fucking community goes ape shit nuts because they don't want to. And those are mostly the people that have built so far into the game. They're so used to running this fucking meta that now they don't want to run this meta. They don't want to run anything different because they've already fucking established enough gear to get to this meta. So now that the meta might possibly have a chance at swapping around, now they're upset. But you know, that's neither here nor there. It's gonna happen fucking one way or the other. Um, as I was telling a buddy of mine, when it comes to metas and it comes to games of this genre, usually between month 2 to month 5, in between that like 3 to 4 month gap, um, usually what's going on is the developers will sit there, they'll monitor shit, they'll see how everybody's using their characters, and then they'll go from there what they want to do, right? They're going to go through and they're going to be like, alright, so this is being used a lot, this is being used a lot, and this is expected. You know, you can't judge a meta in the very first month of the game unless it's very plainly, like, you know what I mean? Unless it's plainly obvious. Now, they've been addressing things. Like, they know that the meta's there, which is kind of funny because even though they fucking know it's there, they still buffed bone shrapnel. But, you know, that's, again, not for this topic. um, but people gotta remember, like, this is gonna come. Like, this, if you go on YouTube, the Blight build and all the Pyro builds and all the Bleed builds and such, they're abused. Not as much as, per se, the fucking Blight build, you know, with Technomancer, but they are. They're abused. And it's going to come down to the point where the devs are going to have two options. Either we need to start buffing some of the other stuff in the game so that it balances out with the meta, or we need to nerf the meta. And they already seen backlash back when they supposedly did the first nerf. Now, I did mention to a buddy of mine about that, like when the game first came out, how they nerfed the time limits on like 2 or 3 maps, and how they nerfed the Technomancer. And he's like, yeah, they fucking nerfed it right out the door. And I was like, but do you notice it now? There's a lot of people still going on about that nerf. And if you look at it from this perspective, what has it really done? Nothing. It's literally just a regular staple in the side of the actual game. Like, there really wasn't a nerf if you really want to go there, because the times that they added are now being easily fucking accomplished. And what? The Technomancer, even though it got nerfed on day one, is still the number one fucking, almost the number one character to play if you're on PC. Because, you know, you could just fucking click on everything and just burn headshots all the way through, as we've seen with all the little tryhards on fucking YouTube. So, I mean, it never really did anything, you know? But that's what happened then. You know, they nerfed things. The whole fucking world had like an outcry over it. And it's understandable why. You know, they nerfed things. So, and you know, they nerfed things before they fixed things. But at the same time, when you look at it from this point down the line, like, really, was it a nerf? Or was it a balancing issue? Like, now you could kind of understand it wasn't a nerf, it was a balancing thing. Because if they didn't nerf the Technomancer, it would be stronger than what it is today, which would make it completely lopsided. If they didn't nerf the time limits that were on certain maps today, you know, back then, would they be as fucking, you know, would they be as, like, rewarding and balanced as they are now? Like, no, they'd be so like, you'd be able to fucking gold whatever fucking maps they were before you even like started the game, essentially. So I think from this point they're just gonna start looking at things and trying to buff around it and see what they can buff to bring things out, and this is good. Like, this is a step in the right direction. It's not the major step because, you know, they still put out fucking updates, they still put out patches, and the patches aren't bringing us, you know, dedicated servers, which will fix and alleviate most of the issues in the game. But, you know, while we wait for new content, I guess the only thing that can happen is new members can enjoy what the game feels like as it's progressing through. Because us OGs, the ones that have walked away, we remember the game for what it was when it was. And it wasn't very fun. Like, I've seen posts on Reddit where people are like, oh, I don't see the reason for all the negativity for this game. And it's like, yo, homie, like, are you new? You have to be new. Like, there's no way you're not new. Like, there's no way. Like, if you are not new and you're an old OG player and you say you don't understand, like, you need to just take the dick out your mouth. Because that's exactly what it is. Like, you got a dick in your mouth. That's all it is. Like, it's getting to that point where I feel like I'm the only YouTuber on this platform that'll actually be unbiased. That's where it's coming from. Because you have these people and they're like, oh, I love this game, blah, 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 blah. I love how this is, blah, 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 blah. And do you see them on streams? Like, carrying people? No, they're playing other games, like fucking, you know, all those other new games that are coming out. They're not helping you people out anymore with carries and such. Like, all that shit went out the window. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, the game's in the state that it's in, and it's going to stay there for a while. You know, you're not going to start hearing anything about DLC. And if you do hear anything about DLC, the content probably won't drop until around month 8, 10, or fucking the 1 year mark. Like, that's probably when you're going to actually see new content drop for this game. It's going to be roughly around there. And I'm probably go with the latter of it because we're, what, approaching fucking 4 months, 5 months now, roughly. And they're kind of hinting at DLC, but we have no idea what's going on because the game still fucking has a lot of fuck ups that need to be addressed. So, for them to drop new content in the next, like, 3 to 4 months, I don't see it. I really don't. Especially with how slow it is for them to put out any kind of patches. Because these patches that they're fucking implementing right now take upwards of like 2 to 3 weeks to fucking get them to actually function to where they can release it. And that's sad. Like, that's really fucking sad. That really is. That tells me that their entire development team is split thin, and the people working on these patches are like 1 and 2 man teams instead of actually having like full team support. It's like one, probably 2 people, and they're trying to delve through all this code rather than fucking the whole team like they're supposed to have. So that's a rough one to really fucking go into and to judge. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so I have seen these content creators out here. I've seen them sitting here posting videos about how it's gonna be, you know, the death of the meta. Good. Good. We don't need that fucking meta. We need build diversity. We need people to be able to play whatever classes they want, build whatever the fuck they want, and still feel like they're able to contribute. Alright? We need that. We need people to stop fucking sitting there complaining about their, you know, mods and stuff not fucking working and lag, because end of the day they're not going to put us on a dedicated server. So it's basically whoever fucking host is gonna be the host. Like, that's where you're getting your connection from, is the host. So people need to stop complaining about that. Get over it. They're not gonna give us a dedicated server. They're just gonna keep baiting around the bush and fucking baiting even more around the bush, and they're gonna end up just, you know, oh, we're fixing this, we're fixing that, when they're not fixing anything. Like, that's just how it's gonna be. Because, like I said in my last video, if they're gonna fix all majority of the things they need to fix in this game, then what they need to do is they need to put us on dedicated servers and monitor the dedicated servers. This peer-to-peer shit's not going to work because, you know, like I said in the last video, if you go through and you matchmake with somebody, you don't know what they're doing on their connection. Dick Buttkiss over there could be over there fucking streaming Pornhub, listening to fucking like Elton John and fucking, you know, tugging his fucking dick while playing this game, and he's the host, you know, and all that streaming is gonna fucking weigh you down because he's the host. You're now trying to compete with his internet. It doesn't matter if you have a fucking 3, 4, 5, 600 meg fucking connection, even a gig down. Like, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna do anything at all. Because this dude's over here doing that, and especially if he's like uploading fucking dick pics to fucking Snapchat. Like, you have all that kind of shit going on. There goes the fucking download and the upload speed of the internet. So, like, you see what I'm trying to say? Like, until they fix all of that, you're going to keep having the same fucking issues that you're having. And this sure is a step in the right direction, but it's not the best step in the right direction. It's one of them, and it's a foreseen one. I kind of seen it. You know, the game, the meta is abused. It is very much so abused. So, I mean, what else is there to really notate? You feel me? What is there really to notate? But anyway, this fucking headache's really getting on my fucking nerves. I'll save the next. I don't want to jump too much into this because you never know what could happen as far as the next patch. So, I'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Or enjoy the video, I should say. And, yeah, hope you guys have a good day. Peace.